first of all, thank you for gracing this series with your presence.
No
You
problem.
have a big presence. I'm just fascinated by you, and I don't know a lot about you. I'm just like a fan on Instagram, but there's a few things that have really kind of sparked my curiosity about you. And this is a series dedicated to erotic artists, erotic art activists, sex workers, sex industry people, and I consider them medicine people, because I believe that intimacy and sexuality and eroticism is medicine, no matter at what level we provide it. I think that providing intimacy is something that's sacred, and seeing people where they're at and entertaining them where they're at is a beautiful thing. And I believe that when we start talking about these professions in a more positive and reverent frame, then we'll start treating the people who are providing these services with a lot more respect and a lot less violence.
Yeah.
That's my goal. So what I noticed about you right away was your petitions. I know that one is yours, but I also know that one you've been promoting. That's how I learned about the Decrim petition. We'll get back to that, but I wanted to know, like, how do you define yourself in the sex work world? You're a dancer, and is there anything else that you claim for yourself in your story?
Stripper, dancer, burlesque performer, entertainer, feature entertainer. Like to travel and entertain. I just like to entertain. Yeah.
Entertainer. Good. Yeah. Good. Do you want to tell me a little bit about your origin story so I know how you got to this?
Oh man. So I've been dancing for about 15 plus years. I started in Ontario. I didn't come out to Alberta until 2007, on and off, and then I officially moved here in 2010. But I've worked in Ontario for like half my career and didn't really know anything about anything. I was quite the newbie, was stuck in one bar for most of my period of time and didn't really get to know anything about like different atmospheres that other clubs would give, because I was only with one bar for like 6 years of my life. So I was really like closed-minded, didn't know anything. So because I didn't get to experience it. And as soon as I started traveling to like Newfoundland and Nova Scotia, I met a whole bunch of other sex workers out there, and they pretty much showed me the ropes of like how their bars work and what the difference is. And like, yeah, if they did do any extra stuff, they wouldn't do it in the bars. They take their business outside of the club. But there was a system that worked for them and worked for me, because they would explain it so I wouldn't like step on any toes, which was awesome. But I also had a greater appreciation of their work ethic and their morals that they had. Like they had like this, these are my set of rules, and we live by that code. And I'm like, I love that.
Yeah, I appreciate hearing that, because you know a lot about sex work is unknown. You know,
I have no idea.
Yeah, I was a full service provider, and among other things, I never danced. Oh man, I want to dance, but and my world was very small too. I just got on Instagram like 2 years ago.
Yeah, same.
3 years ago. And was like, whoa, there's a whole world out there that I've been kind of avoiding out of whatever reason, fear, I don't know, inadequacy, all the other stuff. But it's like, it's really helpful to see other people with similar experiences who have the same understanding of this other world and how it works, and how it like resonates in the greater culture, I think. And so in one way I feel like definitely not alone. And then there's like another part, I'm like, wow, I'm so small in this vast ocean of incredible entertainers. And I mean, I consider full service sex work performance art. really, just a different type of hustle. But
yeah.
so, okay, so you started traveling. What brought you, why Edmonton? Why are you there now? What held you?
Well, the money was good. Was like in 2000, like maybe 2005. I didn't get to come out to Alberta until 2007. So I really missed that economic gold rush that they had there. Like people were sweeping money off the stage for tips and like, so I mean, I just missed it. It was declining in 2007. And so you go out there and like you make about $400 on stage just from dancing, all in loonies, but I mean, it adds up every time you go on stage, right?
How do you carry that off as
That was the appeal though. Not the loonies being thrown at you, but the amount that you get afterwards was the appeal. So that's why everyone was coming out here. And then I officially just decided to move because back in the day they had like 30 clubs in one city. So there was a lot to choose from. And yeah, there's more work. Now there's only like 3 clubs. Everything's just dying down. I'm almost wondering like after this pandemic if there'll be such thing as strip clubs because it's just really bad. Ontario's lost a lot of their clubs, and same with Alberta. We've lost a lot here as well. So yeah.
Yeah, any live performance, anything just seems like, oh man, I don't know. It seems like it's just devastated, like a big tornado's gone through and just ripped.
Yeah, and I'm wondering like how much of that is like caused by like fear, like no one's gonna want to come in because they're just terrified. So
Yeah.
it's not gonna be the same.
In my art show, I have people wash each other's hands as a way of communing.
Okay.
And looking at each other and wash, like, anyway, it's really, it's a nice experience. Maybe not anymore. I don't know. Like maybe they'll be washing with Purell. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, well, can I ask you then about, well, 2 things. The first is, the problems. So you got fired. This is me reading your information. You got fired for speaking out against your working conditions. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
And that's what caused you to create this petition?
Yeah.
I'm reading the petition. Is it called the Black Girl Quota petition? Because I have it on my bio, the link in bio for people to sign.
I don't have a title for the petition, honestly. Like, so when I was making it up, because like everyone's like, oh, do you refer to yourself as the Stripper Queen of Canada? I'm like, no, I don't refer to myself as that. The ghostwriter that's writing my book made the title, and since she's doing it for me for free, I'm not going to argue it. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, sure, cool, whatever. Go with whatever you think is best. So she put that. So now everyone thinks I'm calling myself that, but I'm not. Just saying. But also too, when I was doing the petition, it asked you to put in a picture for like a heading, and I don't have any pictures that would suit a petition heading other than the cover for the book. So that's why I put that there. So it says Stripper Queen of Canada Unfiltered, but that's the book cover. That's not what I think of myself. That's what my friends think of me. Thanks, friends. And then, yeah, so the petition was just pretty much, I just talk about the struggles that I talked about, the systemic oppression and like my paycheck and and then what happened right afterwards. And then without trying to get the petition so muddled, I pretty much picked like 3 important things out of many things to petition for, because the more you start talking and typing in that petition, the more everything gets lost in translation. So I made it as short, and yeah, it's a bit vague, but short, quick and simple, easy to like kind of get the just points. And if people have questions, feel free to message me.
Okay, so let's talk about the talking points then. The petition is to create better working conditions specifically for strippers in Alberta or across the country?
Across country.
Across the country. Can you talk about what the conditions are? Is it the 3 conditions that you're trying to address?
So living conditions, we don't want to get fined for the ridiculous things they take off of our pay, like POP, insurance. Because I know like in Ontario, it's not as bad as in Alberta. They literally take 56% of our deductions. Ontario, I think they just charge you probably for pop, maybe like a ridiculous floor fee. Maybe they expect you to sell a certain amount of dances out there. I'm not sure what it's like anymore these days, but I know if you show at like certain times, like you have to pay a certain amount of money for a different time that you come in at or whatever.
Okay, so can you break it down how it works for me? So so you come in and you audition and you're like, I want to work here, and you audition. If you're already known in different clubs, do you have to still audition?
No. Well,
Touring or whatever?
for me, I have to come in with like a white girl to vouch for me to get into work in any club. But I was already working at Roxanne's for 6 years, and my audition was amateur night, I guess. That would be my audition, because after I did amateur night, they asked me if I wanted to work there, and I was like, yeah, sure. And that's how I started. So I guess that was my audition. I would assume that would be auditions for everyone else, but yeah, Roxanne's was pretty good with like the colorism. They weren't racist against my skin type. They just looked at my stage show, amateur night, and asked me if I wanted to work. Whereas other clubs, it's just a matter of you showing up on time to get ahead of all the other Black women that show up before you. Because if they've reached their max amount of Black women that they want in their club, and you're not there on time, then you're gonna get cut.
Okay, so that's the quota you're talking about is.
Yes.
That's what I figured it was, but I just want for people that are listening to have a clear understanding. So so basically it's like, oh, we've already got our token, like just to cover our bases amount of Black dancers is basically what they're saying.
Yeah.
And we only have so much floor space, and we want it to go to people who are like more sellable. Is that what they're trying to say?
Pretty much, but it's not like they know what their clientele is like, but the more they suppress Black women from coming in, the more maybe creepy old white men we're gonna get. I don't know. I don't know what kind of people they're trying to attract, but we're not getting rich ballers in, because I mean those Black thugs that they're trying to not let come in are the ones that are buying bottle service all the time.
Okay, I have a question for you. Are the thugs, the Black thugs you're talking, are they the ones that are buying bottle service? To me, I'm just peeking in on a culture here. They have a lot of respect for what you do.
Mm-hmm.
To a degree. I'm sure there's errors because they're men.
yeah.
But there's a different, like, I don't know, like acknowledgement of your hustle or something. I this is my assumption. Please correct.
Yeah, no, I would assume the same. I'm not really sure as well, but yeah.
How would you know if
It's been a long time since I've seen a bunch of Black guys at a strip club, so.
Is there racism toward clientele as well?
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell me about that a little bit?
I mean, I've experienced it a few times. This one time when I was working at Shade in Edmonton, this one guy from Vancouver, he was mulatto looking. Well, he's definitely half Black. And he came in with two other guys that were affiliated with the Edmonton Oilers. The bouncers had no idea, but me and the three other girls that were hustling that table, we got to know them, and they bought all of us out. They bought shitload of drinks. They tipped the waitresses so much money. And then all of a sudden the bouncers kicked them out. For what? There was no reasoning behind that. And then after they kicked them out, I told them, like, just so you know, they know they're part of the Edmonton Oilers, and you just fucked that gig up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that could have been something that was regularly a good thing for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing I don't understand about like not letting everybody just sparkle and shine in the shit that they do, no matter who they are, because I just feel like so much good stuff can happen if everyone gets to do that. That's the way I see it. I don't know. There's so much fear or like, I don't know, pre-decision making going on, and that just seems to me to be so it's like cutting yourself at the knees. Personally, I don't know. And I haven't experienced that, so I'm really just theorizing.
Yeah.
Really. But I'm really grateful that you're sharing this with me, because I'm sure it's going to resonate with a lot of people, a lot, all of my viewers,
Yeah.
my grateful viewers. Okay, is there anything else that you want to say to that while we're still here?
No, that's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, okay, well, actually, we want to finish on this petition. So it's the working conditions. You have to pay a lot. I didn't know how that worked. So you have to pay to work,
Yeah.
basically. I don't know why in my head I figured it was like just all cash. Like you just come in and you just pay like a rental fee for the night. And
Yeah,
then
I mean, it used to be like that. Like especially
okay.
for like freelancers, you show up, you pay $10, whatever you make, you just take home for yourself. But
But not now.
whatever you make gets split like 40-60% to like, you know what I mean? And you don't get all your dance money. It's ridiculous.
It just goes to show like the clubs don't exist without the dancers.
Yeah. But I
Really?
mean, they've got like this monopoly here in Alberta, and like you quit one bar, you can't work anywhere. So it's
So you're at their mercy. You're at their mercy. Yeah. What are you gonna? So you were fired.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean that's it for you in Alberta, pretty much, or?
Yeah,
Really?
no dancing in Alberta or BC because they're too close together, really. And Independent has a couple clubs out in BC that they book. So
Right. So we might see you here in Montreal.
yeah, probably. I just don't know how to get booked there because
I don't know either.
yeah, because that's the huge racial thing that they had going out there too. And that's another reason why I came out west, because with all the titles that I had, I wasn't getting accepted to work out east as a featured entertainer. And I was like, this is ridiculous. So I took my titles out west to get booked out there as an entertainer, which took me 5 years to actually get a proper show price and to be able to work at like the prestigious clubs that they had. Like when I first came out there, they did not pay me a good price and they put me at all the shitty clubs. So I wasn't really able to even like showcase the talent. So I was telling these people that I had to like, hey, hello, I have showmanship, pay me for it. So they didn't really get to see that. Instead, I just got shoved underneath the rug until I did a competition for them in 2010. And then they all saw who I was. And it's like, yeah, I've been trying to tell you this forever now, but because of that, got my foot in the door, and that got me to like Showgirls and Diamonds, the top clubs you want to work at.
What titles do you have?
I love a lot. I've won Miss Canada twice, and yeah, that was a milestone for me because I'm the first Black woman to win that.
Really? Congratulations.
Yeah.
I feel really honored to be in
I have Miss New Showgirls, Miss New Northern Alberta, Queen of the Strip that was in Toronto, Most Sensuous Woman, Entertainer of the Year. Goes on. It goes on and on and on.
Wow. Wow. Well, I'm impressed. I always secretly wanted to be a stripper. I come from a small town. My mom would have been very encouraging of that.
Nice.
But I had a lot of trauma that I thought that I would probably put myself into some pretty dangerous situations if I did. And now that I'm like hitting 40, I'm like, damn, I really wish I had like shot my shot. You know, but I mean, now that there's COVID, it's like it's all done. But I just have so much respect because I love the performance. I just think that the way that you get to engage and like hold attention and just bring people on a little bit of a journey, I just think it's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I don't have my questions. So I will just remind people that this petition is very important. It is one way to take a direct action toward dismantling racism in our society at large in Canada, which people think doesn't exist. I think that's stupid, but anyway. So those people who say that they're anti-racist and are working toward it, here's one way you can work, like do something about it and not just talk about it or say that it's somebody else's problem.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. The other petition speaks to my heart because it affects me directly, is the Decriminalize sex work petition. I know that you've posted about it. I don't know how connected you are to it.
Not very connected. Someone, who was it? Novocaine Dances tagged me in it, and she's like, "This looks like something that you're trying to go towards." I'm like, "Holy shit, it is!" And I just have to share it.
So, do you want to talk about it a little bit?
My
own thoughts.
Sure. Other than all I know is that it's a petition to decriminalize sex work because we don't want it legalized. We want it decriminalized completely, so police can just leave sex workers alone and not even have any type of judgment as to what we're doing. Like, go do some other important things. This is consensual right now. This is a consensual contract, and it's a job. And decriminalization will help keep those rub and tugs open and safe places for sex workers to work at without having to get endangered and working outside of those places. Also, so we've got till the end of March to get as many signatures in. I will be posting about it again before the end of the month. But yeah.
Yeah, I actually offered to send people unreleased photos of my butt for proof of signature. And I only got one, and I don't know if they don't want to see my butt or if they don't want to sign, or I don't know, but
it's quite the process. I realized when I was doing it, but I mean, it's also to not get all those bots that they would get in. But I was like, oh, this is detailed. Okay.
Well, because it's a petition to the House of Commons, which I think is more that it says a lot because it's coming up. So the thing with the law as it stands right now is that, just so people understand, is that it is not illegal for people to sell sex, but it is illegal to purchase it, which is, I think they call that the Nordic system, which doesn't work because it still stigmatizes the purchase of sex, which isn't healthy for anybody, and it makes it more difficult to purchase, and so it once again forces people to go underground on the streets and in ways that they're not able to vet their clientele. So it's really important to decriminalize more so than legalize. People ask me why that is, and I say, because who would be regulating it? Men. I don't want the people who judge it to be regulating it. If it were to be regulated at all, it should be regulated from the inside. However, the access to entry needs to be minimal, because people who need it to survive should not have to have any sort of requirements to do the work. And I think they're regulating it. This is the logic, I guess, behind it, is the regulating it could mean that you have to meet certain standards to do the work somehow. Okay, we won't stay on this topic for much longer. I just really wanted to hit on that. It's nice for me to have other people to say the same thing over and over again, because I feel like a broken record sometimes in saying the same message. And I think the more humanized we can make the message, the better. So I appreciate you pushing this out. And I think when you know sex workers, you just feel for the ridiculous amount of challenges that they face, and kind of just do work like every other human being. Yeah. So anyway, thank you for that. I'm going to encourage more people to to sign, and maybe they'll get to see a photo of my butt again. I don't know. So, okay, you also teach dancing. Do
Yes.
you want to talk about your love of that?
Wow. Like, well, thank goodness I had something else to do, because I wouldn't know what else to do if I didn't have dance in my life. And it makes me so happy. It's how I ground myself. So yeah, I push and teach myself all kinds of styles. I'll train all different types of styles, and anyone that wants to learn, I can teach it. I work at a radio fitness, so I do pole, I do tricks, I do aerials, I do fire, I hip hop, I contemporary, I do it all.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Do you do any naughty photography? I don't know this about you. Some people have just gone online.
Yeah, like boudoir, all types of photography. I've only shot with like a few photographers that I know personally know, because I mean, men are creepy, so, and you want to like someone you can trust. And I'm not really good at modeling, so it's nice that someone knows how to direct me in certain positions, because I don't know what I look like. Yeah, know what's going on. I can model in the mirror.
The photos I've seen of you, I'm like,
but those aren't selfies. Those are directed poses.
Okay, yeah. Hey, can you tell me the story about this banana?
It's like my favorite show. It's my first feature costume. Yeah, I just the dress underneath the banana was passed down from another dancer, and then I had the banana idea after I watched the Family Guy episode and saw Brian come out of the banana. And I'm like, that would just make perfect sense to have that underneath like a salsa costume. It'd be like a Chiquita banana, but I gotta make it funny, because like, what are you gonna come out in a banana? And I was like, peanut butter jelly time. Like, it just made sense. I don't know.
And you do this on stage, like when you were working, this is like a thing. Like, I can imagine the reaction.
Oh, it's such a good reaction, because everyone knows the song, so it just works.
Oh my God. Do you have any video of it? Or because I just love the image of you just like curled, like sitting in your banana costume.
Yeah, I'm not even sleeping. I was so nervous because I was going on stage for a virtual event, and I was nervous, so I was trying to breathe. I was trying to slow down my breathing. So I was bent over, taking deep breaths, and my boyfriend takes a picture of me and turns me into a meme. Like, fucking guy.
Great. It's great. Okay, the virtual event. So like this COVID pivot that we've all had to make, like I'm not doing my show until I can do it live. I just can't. There's something about it. You have to be in person, because part of the show is me inserting my physical body in front of projected images of like our judgments. So I'm just like waiting, but a lot of people are starting to do their live stuff online. What, like, did you come around to this kind of easily? What's your experience been like for that?
No, and thank God for those platforms, because if without them, I wouldn't be surviving right now. Really? And I didn't even know these things were happening. Like, people reached out to me, so I was lucky that Jordan Kensley like threw my name around, and I got onto the Let Them Eat Cake one, which is a big one for New York, and other charity events have been throwing stuff. And like the tips have been ridiculously good. I'm like, whoa, how do I get back on this one again? So I'm just grateful that I'm being able to do that still, and like still be able to perform. Like, that workout alone, doing that one banana show, is all cardio, and it's like, woo, I feel good afterwards, like, but I'm dying at the same time. So
is it the same experience? I mean, it's not the same experience, but like you're performing in front of, I don't know, do you keep it on gallery view? Like, how do you?
Yeah, I keep everything on. I feel like it's much better with an audience, because with my banana show, there's certain moments where I need audience participation. So like, It's like the after I get the banana costume off, it's like a rockabilly. What's the word I'm looking for? Mariachi.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I start clapping and I stomping my feet, and that's the. But there's no one else clapping, so you're just yourself, and so you have to like really get into it for yourself. Otherwise, you're just gassing out. You know what I mean? Because I thrive off the audience every time when I go out there. So when you don't have an audience, you have to just hype your own self up. All right, we're gonna clap, and no one else is clapping with me. That's okay. Keep smiling. Keep stomping hard. Feel it. Feel it.
I can't. I've been to one. It was the Soldiers of Pole. Just recently, they did one.
Yeah, I wanted to
Raising Hell. It was really fun. I think what was kind of cool for me was to see dancers in their environment doing something that was like really intimate that I thought probably couldn't be translated the same way on stage, but it was like an opportunity to do something a little bit more like more deeply sensual. I was like, there was some stuff I was like, whoa, my heart stopped watching.
Yeah.
And I think maybe because you're in your own space, does that change? Like, because it's familiar in a different way.
Yeah.
Does that change your performance? Or I don't know.
I feel like there's less pressure.
Right.
Yeah. Because you're in your own space, there's less pressure.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so did you have any before and after rituals when you were working?
I wish they were stretching.
Yeah, okay, there's the ideal.
I wish. There wasn't enough time for anything afterwards, but before, I always, because we have a lineup as to when we know when we're on stage. It takes me about an hour to get ready before I go on stage. I have to find all my costume pieces because I'm a disaster. I'm like an organized chaos. All my shit's everywhere, and I gotta find it. So it takes me about an hour to get ready. I like to smoke a joint before I go on stage. So I roll one. I go outside to my car. I put my music in for my set. I brainwash myself, pump myself up, smoke weed. Now I'm really stoned, which slows down a lot of things. So I go back inside, look for all my shit baked, get distracted because I'm baked. People start talking to me. I cancel them out because it's my time. Sometimes they get mad about it. Usually they already know me. So they're like, oh, she's getting ready.
Yeah, we'll wait.
Yeah, and then I get into costume. I look in the mirror and then I pump myself up some more because we don't believe the costume that you're in, you can't sell it. So you have to look, see the character, get into character, take that character and take it on stage. But it takes me out of that.
What about your characters? Like,
I've got like a whole bunch of costumes. So like my bananas, one, I have to be able to be like ready to laugh my ass off. Every time I look at myself anyways, I start laughing. So it's perfect. So, and then I'll start like doing the movement so I can see how my body moves in the banana suit. So if it makes me laugh, it's going to make them laugh. So it's like awkward, but even though it feels awkward, I'm looking at myself. I'm like, no, that's going to make people laugh. Perfect. I have a sumo outfit, which blows up. I do the little sumo squats and makes my belly push up, like puff out more.
Okay, wait, stop right there. Does the sumo strip?
Yeah, it comes off as well.
Or do you strip the sumo off?
I strip the sumo off.
Okay. I need to see this. I need to see this.
It's a good one.
Okay.
And then what else do I have? I have a Pink Panther. I have a Dead Mouse. I have a Dark Fairy. My tractor show is a good one. That's a good one.
In Alberta.
Yeah, right? That's how I won Miss Canada the first time.
Of course. Wow. That's great.
As soon as they told me it was going to be in Calgary during the Stampede, I was like, oh, I know exactly what show I'm going to do. Stampede, John Deere tractor.
Oh yeah.
Come on. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. So what inspires all these costumes and personas?
A lot of TV shows, movies,
Uh-huh.
and music. Like that whole Banana show, the music came from So You Think You Can Dance, Kill Bill, and Family Guy. Like where I got the music from, and no one else would find that music unless you like watch like the behind the scenes of Kill Bill to find Quentin Tarantino's favorite flamenco artist, and that was that song. I was like, what? And it's a beautiful song, and I use it for Pole or Fire. It's really pretty. What else? Toddlers and Tiaras is another one. I don't think they have that show anymore, but I would watch that show religiously because the costumes and ideas they came out with were fantastic. Sorry, but it's true. Same with RuPaul's Drag Race. Fuck yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it makes sense that you get your inspiration from other performers. It is kind of funny that it's from Toddlers and Tiaras, but I guess they know what's up.
They know what's up.
They know what's up. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're the newest generation. You just gotta, yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. Okay, so you don't have any after rituals. You just go home and like go to bed. Or
smoke weed. I try to stretch. I try. But yeah, if I'm wired, I'll smoke a big joint, chill, and stretch. If not, I just pass right out because I'm so tired.
Yeah. I love stretching.
Yeah, I try to.
When I remember to do it, it just feels so good. I love it.
Yeah.
I was an entertainer in Cancun.
Ooh.
Just for a short amount of time. But I remember dancing around and like with the costumes with the head, like, you know, I was Speedy Gonzalez and I was Mickey Mouse and what else was like Tigger, and I don't know, it was wild times, like just being there for everybody. But I'm like 5'1", so I never fit in any of these costumes. Like imagine like a very, very short Tigger. It didn't work. It was kind of a disaster, but so much fun. Oh, great. Okay, so I want to ask you about this is kind of a surprise question, but feel free to not answer it. Your feminism. Are you like, do you have a relationship with feminism at all? Would you?
I mean, not really. I believe women should be strong and independent and not dependent on men. Like, I feel like, I was raised to be a housewife, so it's hard. Yeah, like literally. So to be coming from that kind of upbringing and then slowly transitioning into my own belief system of like what I want myself to be, like, yeah, it's still a hard transitioning because like even like
what inspired you to be like, fuck that?
Well, the moment I wasn't able to really do anything, I wasn't allowed to have a boyfriend because that's when I rebelled and became a stripper. Was like, my mom works at the University of Waterloo,
right?
And very super hardcore Catholic. So I was like in Bible camps and Bible school and math school and music schools and choir and I was one of the altar girls, like all that shit. So as soon as I wasn't like, I had to go to church every Sunday, no matter how old I was. If I lived at home, you're going to church on Sunday. So I was kept in this closed box of like gullibility and very naive and didn't know anything about the world. Like that too, right? And so this closed-minded box child gets out and becomes a stripper. Like, yeah, it was a hard life lesson. Like just life hit me in the face so hard, so fast. Like I had to learn quickly. Like as soon as I started dating my neighbor, my mom found out through all my stuff outside the house in the front lawn. I looked out the window like, oh fuck, all my stuff's outside. Like, oh,
just, as a young, like,
yeah, I think it was like 18.
18.
Yeah, 18 and already like rebelling because with that upbringing and not being able to do anything and wanting to date, I couldn't go to any of the school dances. I think my first boyfriend was 18 and wasn't allowed. My sister had to allow that for my mom. And then
so you like your pendulum, you're just like, fuck it, like over here, I have to balance this out with something. And then
well, with high school, I had started running a dance team there. And I guess my grades started to fall to like a C, and my mom did not like that. So she came into the school and told the principal to take me off the team, which I was running. So that was like my only inspiration to even like enjoy school, because during those times, school was rough. Kids were mean, not many friends. And then that dance group was like my thing. And then for her to have me removed from it, that was it right there. That was definitely the moment of me like, fuck everything then. Like, it was my last OAC year. I pretty much stopped going to classes. I still passed, but I took the whole year off before I went to college and tried to look for myself. And yeah.
I'm from Sarnia, so I know where you're talking about. I know the kind of the attitudes and, you know, the ways of those places.
Yeah.
Like almost suburban or rural,
well,
almost something kind
and
of.
that's another thing too, because and that's where I became like super like, I didn't see racism at all, because I was too like trying so hard to be a white person and belong in these white cliques that I thought I could be friends with these mean girls who did, you know what I mean? So I'm trying so hard to be white. I did so many things to like my hair or to my skin just to belong. And I had no idea that I was harming myself trying to be something I wasn't, and like literally trying to be someone that I wasn't.
Was the dancing the thing that helped you come back into your
big time
identity?
Big time. And still then I didn't know anything. And then to receive compliments as a dancer, it was hard for me to even take them in, because like I didn't believe them myself. So taking compliments was hard. I can like, it's easy to say thank you now, but now I feel like I've heard so many compliments that I don't find them genuine anymore. So it's like a repeated, it's like over, it's like, yeah, it's too much. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah.
Well, take them.
Yeah.
Take them all in. Do what you want with them, but take them. They're yours. Yeah. Oh, that really, thanks for that vulnerability. I think that gives me a little deeper understanding of you a little bit. And I'm really grateful to get to know this, like a little bit of your backstory. So you went to college after high school, or did you?
I took a year off, and then I went to Conestoga.
Okay. What did you study?
Social services.
Well, you're providing a social service. Okay, I don't have much time now.
Yeah.
So let's wrap up. Is there anything that's on your heart that you just want to share?
No, that last bit was really good though to share.
Yeah, I think that I really appreciate the depth there. It was really special. So thank you. I actually have one more before. I always have the same question every time, but I'm going to ask you about what your experience was like as a baby stripper. I'm guessing you were in Toronto first.
Kitchener, Waterloo.
Okay.
Yeah, it's at Roxanne's.
You started in your hometown?
Yeah.
Okay. I need to hear about this. Like you didn't go because I
was a baby and I'm scared. My mom raised me to be close to home. Like I didn't move out till I was like 25, 26.
Okay. Yeah. So you were 20. So how old were you when you went into your first club?
I think I was 20, 21.
Okay. Yeah. So you weren't age-wise too much of a baby. I mean, I guess I was just a newbie. But a newbie, yeah. And that's what people call baby strippers.
Newbie, and then coming in with the stereotype of what strippers are, and like man, like when I first did my first lap dance, I was like, grinding or like touching my pussy and like doing things that the strippers there then do, like they would teach you right away. She'd grab me by the hair. You don't fucking touch yourself like that. I'm like, oh, never again. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like there's like an etiquette that each club has, and you'll learn the hard way in certain places. I feel like now, because everyone's all like, I'm scared I'm gonna get the cops called on me, that everyone has to like use their words, or they have to figure it out on their own, which is hard to do because if no one tells you, how do you figure it out?
well, yeah, and there's my assumption is those spaces are occupied by people who are trying to also make as much money as possible. So there's a camaraderie and a competition at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, my practice in my feminism, I guess, is to remind myself that there isn't a best woman in the room, that there's just like room for everybody, you know. That's kind of what I'm like trying to work on internally, I guess, from the messages I've received through media and whatever. But I can imagine like some people will take you under their wing and some people will let you just, you know, I don't know, writhe and wiggle and try to fucking figure it out for yourself. Yeah. So, okay. And so, but so did people, obviously, people in your community saw you at work.
Yeah.
How does that play out for you?
I think when I was like when Roxanne's was close to my high school, that was awkward because it was like up the street from St. David's. But then once it moved to Kitchener, it was easier. And then the Dollhouse was in Kitchener, it was easier. I ran into my college prof there one time. He's hot though, so it was okay. You know? It's like, yes, I've been waiting for this moment. Those are the moments that you're not even afraid of. You'll go right out there like, hey.
I knew it.
But when my mom found out, that was heartbreaking because she literally was like, I didn't raise you to be like this. And I was like, yeah, that's true. And like after that, I put myself back to school because like she paid for my Conestoga College program. And so then when I dropped out, I put myself back into school at London, Fanshawe.
Yes.
With my own money to prove her wrong, but I could still finish and be a stripper, and which I did. And then, yeah, that gained some respect back, was putting myself back to school and finishing.
Yeah. Oh man, I need to finish school. I went to school and dropped out for a relationship. Like, anyway, it's another story, but to be able to finish that, I think it's a really big deal. And then to say that was good, I'm still going to continue dancing. Good for you. I think that's really beautiful. All right. Okay. I feel like I've got like a picture of you. And so now I'm gonna end this conversation because I really am excited to do some photos with you if you're still into it. But I always ask the same question when I'm finishing up, and that is, if you were a flower today, what flower would you be?
Tulip.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know why, because I feel like I was dreaming about that today.
Oh, I wonder what the symbol.
Just the bulb part, and they're reoccurring. So that's nice.
Yeah, they're annuals, or they're perennials. No, they're annuals.
What? I'm not sure. Like you plant them in the winter time and they come up in the springtime. Yeah.
I think that's really beautiful. So it gives you this incubating period where before you get to really blossom and bloom. Tulips have this really great texture to them. And have you ever been to the Tulip Festival anywhere?
No.
They're okay. I don't know. I went to the one in Ottawa.
With different colors of tulips.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
That'd be pretty though. Yeah.
Well, I will take this tulip beauty and I'm just gonna add it to this bouquet. I feel really lucky that I get to collect all these stories and listen to these very interesting coming coming to be, I guess, of people that uh, we often just make so many assumptions about, you know. So I'm grateful that you've been able to open up to me.
No problem. I'm enjoying talking more and more anyways, because I have like a maybe a bit of a speech impediment talking in front of people. So I either talk really, really fast or I don't talk fast enough at all, or I trip up on my words, or it's really weird. It's like impediment and a bit of dyslexia, and it's mushed all together. Maybe I was stoned. I never smoke weed anymore when I do interviews. It's always afterwards. But I mean, anything to like help the gift of gab get better. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I'm all about the interviews right now. So I appreciate you reaching out.
Oh, good, good. Thank you. Thank you again. Okay, I'm gonna say goodbye.
Goodbye.